Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready to have your mind blown, because today we're rediving into some of the most famous facts from history that sound completely true, but are totally fake. We all love a good story, but sometimes the truth gets a little twisted over the years. So, let's set the record straight on a few things you probably thought were historical gospel. First up, Napoleon Bonaparte. Picture him in your mind. What do you see? A brilliant military strategist, a powerful emperor, and a really short guy, right? This image is so widespread. We even have a term, the Napoleon complex, for shorter men who are overly aggressive. But here's the shocker. Napoleon wasn't actually short. He was about 5 feet 7 inches tall, which was average, or even slightly above average, for a Frenchman in the early 19th century. So where did this myth come from? It was largely British propaganda. His enemies wanted to cut him down to size, literally, by portraying him as a tiny, angry man. They also played on the difference between the French and English measurement systems of the time. So, the idea of a pint-sized tyrant. Just a clever smear campaign that worked a little too well. Next, let's sail across the Atlantic to the Vikings. Close your eyes and imagine a Viking warrior. You're probably picturing a fierce, bearded raider with a magnificent horned helmet. Right, it's the classic image we see in movies, comics, and even on sports team logos. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there is zero archaeological evidence that Vikings ever wore horned helmets into battle. Think about it practically. Horns on a helmet would be a huge disadvantage in close combat. An enemy could easily grab them or knock your helmet off. The real Viking headgear was likely much simpler, made of leather or iron, probably shaped like a simple cone or bowl. The horned helmet idea was popularized in the 19th century, especially by a costume designer for a Wagner opera. It looked dramatic and cool, but it's pure fantasy. Speaking of headgear, let's talk about the American Wild West and cowboys. What's the number one hat you associate with them? The big, wide-brimmed Stetson cowboy hat. Of course, it's the symbol of the American frontier. But in the golden age of the cattle drives, from the 1860s to the 1880s, the most popular hat on the frontier wasn't the Stetson. It was actually the bowler hat. You know, the rounded, hard felt hat more commonly associated with city gentlemen in London. Historical photos from towns like Dodge City and Tombstone show far more bowlers than classic cowboy hats. The Stetson, while it did exist, became the iconic symbol later, thanks to Hollywood westerns romanticizing the look. Real cowboys valued practicality, and the sturdy, less flappable bowler was often the better choice. Let's move on to a moment of pure genius. Isaac Newton and the apple. The story goes that Newton was sitting under a tree when an apple fell and bopped him on the head, instantly sparking his theory of gravity. It's a perfect eureka moment. The truth is a little less dramatic, but no less brilliant. Newton himself told the story that he was inspired by seeing an apple fall from a tree in his garden. It wasn't about getting hit on the head. It was about the observation. He wondered why the apple fell straight down to the earth, and not sideways, or upwards. This simple question led him down the path to formulating his law of universal gravitation. The bonk on the head part was likely added later to make the story more memorable and entertaining for the public. It's a great tale, but it sanitizes the years of hard work and complex mathematics that actually went into the discovery. Finally, let's address the famous last words of Julius Caesar. In Shakespeare's play, as the assassins, including his friend Brutus, strike him down, Caesar looks at him and utters the heartbreaking line, "Et tu, Brute," or "You too, Brutus." It's the ultimate betrayal. But did he actually say it? Almost certainly not. The ancient historian Suetonius, writing over a century after the event, reported a rumor that Caesar's last words were actually in Greek, "Kai su tenon," meaning "You too, my child." However, Suetonius himself noted that most other historians recorded that Caesar said nothing at all. He simply pulled his toga over his head and accepted his fate in silence. The famous Latin phrase was popularized by Shakespeare because it's pure dramatic gold. So there you have it. From Napoleon's height to Viking helmets, history is full of amazing stories that aren't quite true. It just goes to show, you should always question what you hear, even if it's something everyone knows. What are some other historical facts you've heard that turned out to be fake? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through historical myths, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.